Welcome to the Hills and Quads Wrestling Podcast on a Monday. Whoa, yeah! You guys.
Oh, yeah!
Yeah.
How's everybody feeling today? You feeling good? Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. You know, I still didn't look at that. You sent me that thing yesterday, quarantine thing that Chris Jericho was doing. I still didn't watch that.
I think I'm going to intro the video with a little clip ski from that. Actually.
That would be cool.
I'm gonna tell it to you, baby. It ain't like it was. There'll be no ifs, ands, or maybes. Only justice because. Hey, baby, I'm gonna stick it in your heart. Yeah, sugar. I'm gonna stick it in your heart.
I don't
And
think
I'm
they
going to watch
mind
it
at
when we
all.
get done.
It's Heart of Chrome from the Revenge album. That's kind of what they're doing. They're doing all 80s Kiss, 80s era, non-makeup, like the lesser-known songs, which is cool.
And those are-
I love the deep
yes.
cuts of 80s Kiss.
Dude, I think you too. I mean, you as well, not
You
you too. Bono. Us as a whole, we like the deep cuts. I like deep cuts for sure
Yeah.
because the radio hits get a little tiresome.
Well, that's like, now that I have Sirius XM again, like, I love it. Don't get me wrong, but it's the same songs over and over.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well,
Yeah. Whoa, yeah.
Like, I listen to 80s on 8s, 90s on 9. Amanda likes the Pop 2K. I listen to E Street Radio constantly. That's usually my
there
go-to
is a
work.
deep cuts station.
There is.
Yeah.
Boneyard, Hair Nation, all that stuff. Octane.
Those are. I figured you listen to those. Yeah.
But fuck, man, like, it seems like every day, like, at the same time, it's the same song.
It definitely is. That's why I got it when I got my car. So I had it since August 2016, and I canceled it like earlier this year. So I finally let it go, and now because I just use Spotify now. I just listen to what I want to listen to because I did finally go, because they'll never have you resubscribe without a deal. They're always going to give you at least like 6 months for $30.
Yeah.
They're always going to give you a deal.
Yeah, we had a free trial when we got the Jeep, and then I just paid last month for it, and it was like $25 till November.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck yeah, I'll pay that. Well, yeah.
So in November, just say, you know what, I think I'm going to cancel because of this and that, blah, blah, give them a reason, and then they will offer you the same deal or give you a month free. So, yeah, seriously, that's why I was stuck with them for 3 years, because I was like, it was just an easy $25. It's like $30 with tax or whatever, but
Well, I mean, you think about it, that's way cheaper than paying $10 a month for Spotify, or $11. I think it's like
100%.
$10.89 after tax.
yeah,
Which
100%.
I actually canceled it yesterday. It was supposed to come
Your
out.
Spotify?
Yeah. And I was like, I listen to Sirius XM on my phone, even when we're like outside by the pool. So it's just easier, because
Yeah.
then I'm like, just whatever plays, and then change the station if I want. Because if I
See, there
have
is
Spotify, I
that.
go and pick certain songs, and then it's like, instead of like
not feeling
communicating
this.
with people, I'm like worried about what song's coming up next, you know? So,
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that totally.
Forget about
That's
it.
the one benefit of radio is
Mhm.
you just put it on and it's on,
You know what's
and then
weird,
you ain't
though?
gotta worry about changing the station.
Since I've had
What's
it, I've listened to Busted Open once, and I have yet to catch up on Howard Stern. Like, I mean, there's no catching up, because I went years without listening, but
Yeah, you don't just catch up. You
Yeah.
just listen and remember, what they're talking about. That's Howard 100 and Howard 101.
I love Howard, but I don't know. I guess, like, I watch clips on YouTube and stuff.
And Instagram and stuff.
Yeah,
that's how
but it's not the same as it used to be. It's not the same dynamic. I miss Artie on there. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, there was a different element to it when he was having chicks ride his speakers and stuff like that. That was
And
pretty cool.
what was that machine? The
Sibian or whatever.
Sibian, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And especially when you couldn't see it, like after when it went to
The
satellite
Kip
radio.
Sabian.
Yeah, the Kip
They're
Sabian.
riding the Kip Sabian.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That's always what I think of whenever I see him. When I see Kip Sabian, I think of Howard Stern and the girls riding the Sibian or Sabian or whatever. Yeah, that definitely happens.
Shout out to Howard Stern.
Shout out to Kip Sabian.
Shout out to Robin and Fred.
Oh
Fred's the
man, Robin, dude. Yeah, so is Fred. So is Gary. They always make fun of his teeth and shit.
Baba Booey, Baba Booey.
Baba Booey, Baba Booey. I like when Ronnie gets fired up, dude, because he's such a fucking asshole, and the way he treats his woman and stuff. It's like their relationship's so toxic, and he's got like this attractive chick. I don't get it, man. There's no way Ryan Limo
It's
Driver's
weird
getting
what
paid
fame
so
will do
much.
for you.
Apparently, you can just be butt ugly and have the most beautiful woman in your life. I don't understand it. But we're famous.
We'll talk about wrestling.
Yeah, we'll talk about wrestling. Yeah, so that was our plan. Obviously, this episode.
I forgot for a brief second that you were kind of in a time crunch, so.
Oh, we got this. It's 8:07. I think we got this. I just got to throw.
We were gonna start at 7:45. Then I had to wait on my coffee. I think I called it like 7:47 though, so we're doing pretty good.
Yeah, we just talked for a while.
We got most of the bullshit out of the way.
When the show, what you see, like we've been talking for about 15 minutes before this, pretty much weekly. It's always like shoot the shit for a minute, feel each other out. Which we don't really have to feel each other out, but
I've tried to kind of cut down on the house cleaning, before the show gets uploaded or recorded, even though it's actually recording already. But it's nice to have
19 pouches hitting my gut.
Ooh, it's nice to have it though for bloopers later on, I guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna take that out for a second. Whew, that's dangerous.
Speaking of dangerous, my allergies are running wild from the Dust Bowl.
I bet. Yeah.
Faster than Uncle Terry and that turncoat Sergeant Slaughter at WrestleMania 7.
Dust Bowl 2020.
Dude, like the fucking haze outside is gross.
Yeah, it's weird. It's super weird.
It feels
I was driving to work the other day. I could see it.
Feels like you're in a fucking horror movie, dude.
Yeah, and the thing is, these last couple days that it's been like cloudy. It's not cloudy. It's just a haze.
Yeah,
because it's sunny outside.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Did I tell you? Speaking of farting and nicotine pouches hitting, did I tell you what happened on my birthday? Before we get to wrestling here?
No.
So we went and ate sushi because that's like the birthday ritual. I gorge myself on sushi.
Yeah.
Now I'm on the last couple pieces of my roll, and my stomach is like, it twists up, and I'm like, oh fuck. And my nephew's like jumping all over me, like, Uncle Levi, and I'm just sitting there like this, like, oh my god,
you have
holding
the flop
my ass
sweat coming
together. Yeah. I'm sitting there just clenching my cheeks, and I'm like, fuck. And he's like, I gotta go pee. So I take him to the bush and piss right outside Shogun. I'm like, fuck this.
Yeah.
He can piss. He's a kid. And then I sit back down and my gut just starts hurting. And Mariah's like, we're with her sister and her brother-in-law. And I'm just like, I gotta go poop. And she's like, well, take the car because we're going to Cold Stone afterwards. Cold Stone. And so I whip down to Cold Stone real quick, which is just right down the hill.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah.
And I go in Cold Stone, and I'm like, oh, the bathroom's blocked off. And I'm like, fuck me.
Oh, no.
So then I run up to Mojitos, which is right in the same little shopping center, and I go in, and the hostess is like, how many? And I was like, I need to use your bathroom. And he's like, where were you sitting? I go, dude, it's a bad situation. You use your fucking bathroom. And he goes, down the hall. So that's the whole story. But I thought it was funny because Mariah said she walked in Cold Stone when they got there and saw the bathroom was blocked off, and she was like, oh fuck, what's he doing? So yeah, it was pretty funny. Anyways,
dude, it's a bad situation.
He's like, down the hall. I was just like fucking booking it down the hallway.
Come on, cheeks, stay together.
And I know everybody in the restaurant was like, "Whoa, that guy's been in the bathroom for 5 minutes. He ran in there, so he
took a
obviously went and
shit.
blew it up." Yeah, he took a shit, and I'm always all self-conscious about that because I'm like, when people know I'm shitting, I don't know what it is, like in public. I don't know. Anyways,
I'm like
that's my
that when I'm
shit
at
story
work,
for the day.
dude. When I know I have to shit and there's no holding it anymore after I've held
Yeah.
it for like 6 hours. Because, God forbid, your bartender get to take a shit once in a while without somebody getting upset about it. I need another beer. Well, I had to shit. What do you want me to do? Waffle stomp it down the
Yeah.
fucking drain? You want to come clean this up? I don't fucking think so, brother. And then I come out and I'm all sweaty and stuff, and everybody's like,
Yeah, you're like
they know. I'm like,
dabbing your
okay, you ready
head.
for that other beer? Like, I'll wait a second. Why don't you wash your hands in here so I can see you do it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I hate when I go to a restaurant and I see, like, obviously the fry cook coming out of the stall, and I'm like, oh, dude, well, I'm not ordering anything fried. Like, he washes his hands, you know, but I'm still like, oh, he just blew it up, and I smell it, too.
You just want to hope, like, he drops his hands down in the basket with the fries. Like,
Yeah.
burns the shit.
All right, we'll talk wrestling.
Let's talk wrestling.
Poop talk. Scat. Yeah, so I'm just going to run through, like we spoke about on the pre-show, which is available on Patreon. No, I'm just kidding. That's actually not a bad idea.
That's not a bad idea. Actually, I'm going to do that today. Good call.
Okay. Yeah, Fyter Fest. Some more matches got announced, but as you brought it to my attention, Renee Young has COVID. So will Jon Moxley participate in the July 8th episode? We will see.
Shout out to Renee Young.
I assume they'll
Feel
give
better.
Yeah. I assume they'll give him 2 weeks to see if he has symptoms. Usually that's how it goes.
Yeah.
At least how it's been around here. So I don't know how it works in the performing arts. So this week, July 1st, Dynamite Fyter Fest is the Kenny Omega and Hangman versus Best Friends for the AEW World Tag Titles. Cody versus Jake Hager for the AT&T AEW TNT Championship. Hikaru Shida versus Penelope Ford for the Women's Championship. Jurassic Express versus MJF and Wardlow.
I'm actually really looking forward to that match, by the way.
Yeah, that's gonna be good. And dude, I'm all in on Jurassic Express. Like, I love that tag team.
And MJF.
Yeah. And then Private Party with Matt Hardy versus Santana and Ortiz. So that's pretty cool. They're kind of like the Private Party was like they weren't, I guess they were babyface, but they weren't either. And now it's like, now they're the babyface. They're babyfaces because they're fighting Santana and Ortiz. Yeah. Which that's going to be a fucking killer match.
Yeah, well, I like the little element of adding Matt Hardy to Private Party. Like, Matt Hardy is almost like that. He's just kind of like that gopher at this point where he's just kind of helping everybody out, which is nice. I like that. I think it's a cool idea, especially with his different characters always coming into play. So with this, I guess it was really on BTE this week, which was postponed because of the whole Joey Ryan thing. They had to do all the editing and shit and take him out of episodes. So it came out a day late. But like Matt Hardy and Private Party, and they're doing like the Party Hardy thing. And then what else? There's something else I was fucking going to say from that. Oh, the Christian AF T-shirts. Did you see that yet?
No, I haven't seen those. Is that the Young Bucks or something?
Yeah, and it's praying hands with the tassels coming off of it.
That's pretty cool.
It's fucking hilarious.
Christian AF.
Oh no, I'm not just Christian. I'm Christian AF.
Somebody's phone is vibrating next door, and they need to wake the fuck up because
wake the fuck up.
Bam, 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 bam. I start playing my drums.
Go to fucking work. It's Monday.
Yeah, I don't think next door, they haven't, like, most people in my area here, the townhomes, it's like they don't have a job now or something because of COVID, but I'm like, you need to find a fucking job because I'm tired of not having a parking spot.
Yeah, and it's time to go back to work. If I have to, you have to.
No
and
shit.
Wear a fucking mask and wash your fucking hands, you nasty motherfuckers.
Bitch. Anyways, yeah. the July 8th episode of Dynamite
You popped me, sorry.
will maybe feature John Moxley versus Brian Cage, TBD. It doesn't say that, but in our world here, TBD. We're giving you the news.
Yeah.
TBD.
We're breaking.
Because we think with our brain. That's for the AEW World Championship, obviously. Chris Jericho versus Orange Cassidy. Lance Archer versus Joey Janela. That's going to be interesting. Nyla Rose versus TBA. It's like to be announced or to be determined. We'll see. Determined is like it's the tournament. To be announced is just like they got to announce it.
Yeah.
Colt Cabana and the Dark Order versus SoCal Uncensored. Oh, I thought there was somebody else. Yeah, Colt Cabana and the Dark Order versus SoCal Uncensored. So that kind of shows me right there that I'm a little behind on Dynamite because I saw a thumbnail with Colt and the Dark Order, but I didn't know like if he had joined or not.
It's one of those you don't really know kind of things.
Daniel Bryan and the Wyatt family type thing.
Yeah, like let's test the waters and see where this is going. Colt Cabana's too much of a baby face to join Dark Order.
It would be weird if he was in it. So maybe he's, anyways, whatever I thought you were going to say something.
No.
Okay.
I don't think so. I don't know. Maybe I was. Fuck, I don't know. I've got brain damage from wearing masks too long. Like you all should fucking do. Wear masks.
Yeah.
I can't fucking stress that enough because it's really annoying.
And then an 8-man tag match. FTR and the Young Bucks versus the Butcher and the Blade and Lucha Brothers. I know that's a lot of people in the ring, but that's going to be good because it's four awesome tag teams.
And we knew in our heart of hearts that we wouldn't see the last of the Lucha Brothers versus the Young Bucks in any situation.
No way.
But all this is doing really is just building Bucks versus FTR, which will probably happen at All Out.
Yeah, it has to because this is just your classic scenario here. They tag, they work together for a minute, and something right here also pushes towards All Out. So yeah, this is gonna be 2 good weeks of Dynamite though. I mean, I'm definitely watching these weeks for sure.
Yeah, I told Amanda, I said there is no excuse. We're watching Dynamite the next 2 weeks, no matter what.
Yeah.
I said, please remind me when it's on.
Yeah, I gotta watch. I'll just have to stay up and watch the tape.
I think really the only match that's not like kind of obvious is the tag title match.
What do you mean? Oh, who's gonna win?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because last week we said we kind of feel like Best Friends will probably take those titles.
That way we can work towards Kenny versus Hangman.
Right. The whole scenario that we built up last week. If you didn't listen or watch last week, go back and do that because I'm not going through it again because it was like 15 minutes. We went off on it.
Yeah.
So this week, Jericho's on commentary. So does that mean that Jericho and Orange Cassidy's next week? The 8th?
Yes.
Okay.
They're on
Did
July
you say
8th,
it on?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the ones I just read are July 8th, and then the ones before that were this week.
I didn't
July
hear you
1st.
say Orange Cassidy versus Chris Jericho.
I said it super quick because it was just the second one listed.
Yeah. Well, we talked about that last week too.
Yeah.
And then you wanted to talk about Great American Bash, right?
There's not really anything on it. There's only a couple of matches announced so far. I know it's it's NXT. Sasha Banks versus the Io Shirai, the women's champion. And there's also a fatal 4-way women's match, number 1 contenders. I think that's all I've seen so far.
That's all I've seen, graphics-wise anyways. I haven't seen any men's matches announced. I thought I got an email about something about Keith Lee defending. Let me see. It was late last night.
I like the idea of you have it in your house and you have a Great American Bash. Like, I think they finally just, they changed the name. It's not always TakeOver, but if you're going to be doing these monthly shows like this, dude, I'm totally okay with Great American Bash and in your house, and like if they did Fully Loaded, like that would be awesome because that was never really a big show. But NXT King of the Ring, that would be
that was
sick.
From last week. Never mind. Yeah, I would love a King of the Ring, and NXT would be the perfect place to hold that.
Yeah,
because I'm sick of them doing those one-off network specials or Raw
With the weird logo.
Yeah, like fuck that.
The weird.
I want the old school King of the Ring. I want a King of the Ring fucking apron. I want a King of the Ring set. Bring it back
Yes.
and bring it back right. And now's the perfect time to do that, like they did with In Your House, which was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I want the throne. I want the cape. I want the scepter. I want the little fucking crown.
Everything.
But like the old school one, like I want that purple cape.
Yeah, other than that, there's not a ton of news going on here.
There was a
Really?
rumor on eWrestling News, I want to say Thursday or Friday, that the countdown to Fucktown, July 18th, the Good Brothers are signing with Impact. And
Oh, really?
Well, July 18th just happens to be Slammiversary as well. And they've been running
okay.
ads with them in it. Like somebody's coming back to Impact.
And
And I mean,
Carl in Impact? I never knew he was in
I think he did a couple of matches.
Okay.
But
I know Doc was.
Yeah, because he was in Aces and Eights.
Yeah.
But what I read was they would want to do that so they could still work with New Japan when everything opens back up.
Oh, I see here.
You see what I'm talking about now?
Oh, well, it's different, but
Oh.
I see what you're talking about too. But I'm gonna try to find that. It says something here. So NXT's this Wednesday is the Great American Bash. So they're just doing the fight. It's not a pay-per-view. It's a Fighter Fest.
It's
versus
to compete
Fighter
with
Fest.
Fighter Fest. So what are they gonna? They'll do Fully Loaded next week.
Yeah. No, I was trying to find that about the Good Brothers or whatever. I don't see it.
It was on eWrestling News, and I mean they haven't had too much to report on, so it was on like the first page.
Yeah.
Tessa Blanchard getting fired from Impact.
She got fired from Impact.
Yeah.
Interesting. She's going to AEW.
Yeah. Well, I guess WWE's already contacted her. That's what the rumor is. Shout out to Road Dogg. I tweeted about it last night. His mother passed away. That's sad to hear.
Oh, yeah. I know you said you see Tully Blanchard, but I can see past that. I think she's an attractive young lady.
I mean, I get it, sure, but
yeah, I don't. Yeah. I think it's on the second page now.
Everything I said, yeah, I can't find it, and I don't feel like scrolling through it. Everything I said was basically what it said.
Maybe they got some good paydays coming for Impact. I don't know. We'll see. And then I also saw a rumor that it wasn't even like a rumor. It was a thumbnail with like Aces and Eights coming back ? So I don't know if that was. Dude, wrestling fans take shit like so serious. They're like, "Oh my god, this happened. That means it's happening."
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I don't care either way. But like I told Amanda and the kids, I was like, "Well, it looks like the Good Brothers are going to Impact. So I guess we have more wrestling to watch every week." Because we'll watch it for them. We will watch it.
All right. Well,
I guess let's get to the main event.
The main event, the top 10 Undertaker wrestling matches of all time. In our
favorites.
Our favorites, yes.
Our favorites.
I did it wrong.
This not is the best, not the top rated, our personal favorites.
Dave Meltzer did not give all these 5 stars.
If you get your pennies in a wad, get over it, because these are our personal favorites. I have reasons behind every single one of these matches. The coolest thing is, other than like 3 or 4, I'd say at least 50% of my list like kind of go together, like it's in the same build storyline kind of thing, which wasn't planned, but it just worked out that way. So I was like, there's obviously certain eras that I like better.
Yeah.
Do you want to start or do you want me to start?
I can start it.
Okay.
I can start it. So yeah, our favorite Undertaker matches, our top 10 favorite personal favorites. My list, Tommy's list, favorite Undertaker matches. And like we always say, a little disclaimer with all of our lists, they change over time, maybe. Depends what we just watched or what we're feeling at the time. But my current top 10, this is it. Number 10 is the Boneyard match because I
Nice.
loved it that much. And
I
that's just where it
almost put
falls
it
at.
on there at 10.
It's AJ, it's Taker, he was the biker Taker. I wanted that so bad. And then that made WrestleMania for me was the Boneyard match. And it was his, him riding off in the sunset. So kind of like his last match was my number 10 favorite match. So that's that. No need to explain it. It's Taker and AJ. Biker Taker. He rode off to Metallica, Now That We're Dead, off their latest album. So, yeah.
Right. And I will insert little clips. We talked about it yesterday. I actually did it Saturday because I was watching I probably watched maybe 8 hours of Undertaker matches.
Jesus.
So it was a lot. But I got up super early to do it because after you texted me Friday night, I was like, that's a really good idea, actually. But I was like, fuck, I'm going to do all this and I'm going to try to just make the show a little more exciting, add a new element to it to kind of pep it up a bit.
Stone Cold, Undertaker.
My number 10 is a weird one, and people will be like, why didn't you pick one of the WrestleMania matches? That's how people talk now.
Of course.
From Shotgun Saturday Night, Triple H for the Intercontinental title. When they leave the ring, they go through Penn Station and the Tombstone onto the escalator, and Triple H rides it down. I just remember watching this match when it live to tape when it first aired, and I thought it was such a cool fucking little. It wasn't really a major match. It didn't mean anything. Even then I knew Undertaker wasn't winning the fucking Intercontinental title. But it
holds its place in your heart.
Yeah, and it's a cool match. It's a cool little clip, which I actually clipped the Tombstone onto the escalator and he rides it down. So that'll be the clip that airs up there somewhere.
Perfect.
Just fun. And it was one of those weird ones that I love Shotgun Saturday Night, especially the earlier episodes when they were in the little bar. And it was fun. It was different.
I never really saw it. I don't know why, but I never saw it. I always saw the ads in the magazines with Val Venus pointing at his crotch, and it said Shotgun Saturday Night. I was like, I got to watch that sometime.
I love because it was like a police badge, and it said Shotgun Saturday Night on it. Yeah, it was just cool. Something different.
I have watched old episodes of Shotgun Saturday Night and Jacked on YouTube. I've seen the old ones. I wish they would put those on the network.
There's a lot of stuff I wish they would put on the network, but
yeah,
I'm assuming at some point everything will be there
someday. So my number 9.
Oh shit!
Oh, that's a nice one.
Oh.
I thought it was a chair.
No, it was not. Oh god, dang shit!
Yeah, don't do that. It's the worst when you fart in the hot, steamy shower because it's just you're trapped in there, and it's like, oh my god, it's just building. My number 9 is Undertaker versus Kurt Angle at No Way Out 2006.
I just watched this match on Saturday.
2006 is not one of my favorite years in wrestling, but as far as WWE goes. But this one, I haven't seen this one in a long time, but I know that I like it because I was just the cover art of the pay-per-view, and being that it was I think the first match, if it wasn't just a throwaway SmackDown match or something, but it's just a solid match because you get to see Angle bring out the best in Taker, and Taker, of course, brings out the best in Angle. So it was just this is a good match, just a good Undertaker match to watch. And this is when he's in his 04 to 07-ish Deadman gear before he got the onesie.
This is still kind of that phase where his hair's a little short.
Yeah, it's something like that.
That Sean Bob kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
No, I can confirm after watching this match Saturday. It's a really good match. It's a good watch. And I like I didn't see any of the build to it, but I watched the match because I'm like, fuck, I need something from every era. I felt like,
yeah,
which I ended up not doing it that way, but I still watched it. And Michael Cole is on commentary and he's like, this is the biggest match in SmackDown history. So this is still when the brand split was like legit.
Here we go. And Kurt Angle kept it up. He hung on. Wait a minute. He rolls through. He's got the choke on. Look at this. Triangle choke. Look at this. Wait a minute.
At this point.
Yeah. It was like late 06 and early 07 it kind of started actually it was definitely 07 when it hit, it pretty much started tapering off.
They started doing like the super shows and shit.
Yeah, and then by 08 it was just like, it's over.
So my number 9 and number 8 are flip-flopped, but the build is the same. So number 9, WrestleMania 12, Diesel.
I almost put it on my list.
Well, we talk about this match quite a bit throughout the show's history. For two big guys, the match is almost, I think it's like 17, 18 minutes. And knowing that Nash is on his way out, like everybody knew already that he was leaving.
Yeah.
He didn't just fucking like throw it away. I'm assuming it's out of respect for Undertaker. Because he knew, like, I'm going to go in there and give him a good match. And it was. I mean, he gave him 2 jackknives. Obviously, Taker still won because the streak is alive and well here, even though it hasn't been mentioned yet at this time. But, man, just a fun fucking match to watch, and I think it's highly underrated.
It is, definitely.
I think people kind of poo-poo it because of the Iron Man match, because that's right after this on the pay-per-view. But
yeah,
if you haven't seen it or you haven't seen it in a long time, go back and watch Undertaker versus Diesel at WrestleMania 12 because it's a solid fucking match. Probably Nash's best match, actually.
Signet power skating no!
Other than with Shawn.
Yeah, I kind of wish I would have put it on my list because now looking at my list, I don't have anything from that era of Taker. But that is a good one. And I looked at a lot. When we do these lists, a lot of times I'll look at like lists, people's favorite or greatest, just to see if like, okay, maybe I forgot one. Yeah. I don't copy them by any means, but I look, and one I saw a lot was actually Undertaker versus Undertaker at SummerSlam '94, and I don't remember that being a really good, like one of my favorites or a good match.
It was not a good match.
I didn't think so.
I actually watched that one Friday night when I got home, just because I hadn't seen it in like maybe 2 years, so I went back and watched it.
It's something we would enjoy watching because it's
the fucking
classic.
Build to it is awesome.
Yeah,
the match itself sucked balls.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so my number 8 is WrestleMania 29 versus CM Punk. It had to be on my list because
I'm actually surprised it's not higher.
Well, the ones that are higher are more like, better legit, and more. Those are the ones, yeah.
They would be on anybody's list.
Yeah, this one is on there for quality at Taker's age and because it's CM Punk, and CM Punk had the tights on, like the same color as the old Taker, and the urn, and just heel Punk versus Undertaker is just, it was awesome. This was probably my last, next to the Boneyard one, which is really just a show. But this is probably my last favorite Undertaker WrestleMania match after Shawn.
I would say this one was the last great build to an Undertaker match.
Going for the go to sleep. Undertaker's time. Again counters. Straight.
Oh, yeah,
because,
for sure.
I mean,
that's definite.
Had Paul Bearer not just passed away right before this match happened, this storyline probably wouldn't have been as good. And it's unfortunate that Paul Bearer passed away, obviously. But
yeah,
it made so much good fucking good content for this storyline. Because with the
Punk
whole
got to be a super heel.
Yeah. I love the build, but the match was great too.
Yeah.
Unlike SummerSlam 94, where the build was great, but the match sucked.
Yes. All right. You're up.
So my number 8, like I said before, this is the precursor to WrestleMania 12. It's from the Royal Rumble 1996. Undertaker versus Bret Hart for the WWF title. This was the last match we get to see the Phantom of the Opera Taker, which I texted Levi. I don't know what it was about him wearing a fucking mask, but I just thought that was so cool back then.
Yeah.
And I still do. I wish more people realized that was a thing. Like, they don't talk about it. And I actually was searching, now that Undertaker's doing all these interviews, I searched to see if maybe there was a segment on one of these interviews where he talked about it. Because it was just a strange thing. Nobody really knew why he was wearing a mask, but it was because Mabel botched a clothesline.
That's what I thought.
Winter's Beatings or something, one of the In Your House pay-per-views. I forget what it was called.
Yeah.
But it was one of those weird In Your House titles. Or like Seasons Beatings, or I know Seasons Beatings.
That's what
Seasons Beatings was ECW, I think.
I thought it was Season. Maybe I am thinking of the ECW one.
I don't know. It was something wintertime. But anyway, so Mabel botches a clothesline and it breaks his orbital whatever the fuck. So, and instead of taking that time off, Undertaker knew business was down. He has to work. So they put a mask on him to prevent any further damage. By Rumble 96, he was fine, but he still wore the mask. The mask gets taken off at the end of the match, and that's the last time we see him wearing the mask. But it's cool, and I wanted to throw one of those matches on there, and that was definitely the best one from that time period.
The way the Undertaker, he doesn't feel pain. I don't know. Succession of right hands now going upstairs. And
yeah, I got that. He's up on the wall over here. It's one of the first Elite flashback.
You have the Phantom one?
He comes with the Phantom mask, so it's
Son
not
of a
already
bitch,
on
man.
him.
I wanted that so bad, and I saw it at Walmart and passed on it. Yeah.
Let's see if I can show it here real quick.
Show the people.
That one?
Yeah.
It's got the Phantom mask, and I've opened that one, and then I have that one too. But I'm
surprised you didn't open it and put the mask on him and just put it back in the package.
I mean, I coulda, woulda, shoulda, but
yeah,
maybe I will. I will.
That was my number 8. So 7.
That is a good one. That's I didn't think of that one.
And obviously, people will say SummerSlam '97 versus Bret Hart will be better. I agree, but
that's yours though.
But I wanted to put this one on to commemorate the fucking Phantom of the Opera Undertaker.
Yeah,
but SummerSlam '97 primo match, loved it.
That is a good one. My number 7 is versus Hulk Hogan at Judgment Day 2002. Had to have Judgment Day 2002 on here, or some 2002 Taker, because I love that Taker. The heel, Big Evil, Booger Red. I actually heard Jim Ross say Booger Red on a Raw episode.
Booger Red.
They really called him fucking Booger Red, and
sounds like an old baseball player.
Yeah, Booger Red. I heard people talk about it and always talk about that, and I was like, I've never heard this. And one day, it was just a random day. I was like, I'm gonna put some O2 Raw on or O2 SmackDown, it would be Raw because Jim Ross was on it. And I put it on, and it was Taker. It was the end of O2 maybe, and they called him. He's like, "Oh, Booger Red," and I was like, "What?" And I rewound it, and he's like, "He fucking said Booger Red. That's a real thing." But anyways, that was after this. But versus Hogan at Judgment Day 02. I don't know, man. It's just I love that Hogan where it's like the red and yellow Hollywood versus the big evil Booger Red Taker. And Taker. I kind of that got tagged on there. Undertaker. But yeah, man, I love this match. I don't know, man. And Hogan's moving slow, but I just love the Judgment Day 02 match. I love that show in general, but this match is just solid. And this is where
we covered
Hogan
this one, I believe.
The title. Yeah. Because Hogan had won the belt from Triple H at Backlash, which I was like, what? And then he dropped it to Taker at Judgment Day 02. And this match gets it was the main event, I'm pretty sure, because Triple H and Chris Jericho were Hell in a Cell right before it. So it's kind of like you get the win taken out of it. And people shit on that one a lot too. The Triple H and Chris Jericho Hell in a Cell, they say it's not the best, but that's a good one. It's just that it was, a weird time, I guess. But versus Hogan, Judgment Day 02, I honestly probably would have put it higher, but I could have put it higher, but it's perfect at number 7.
I think that people need to appreciate Terry's 02 run because I thought it was great.
Yeah,
I've went
it.
back and rewatched his entire run from that year like so many fucking times over the years.
Yeah.
That it's not even funny anymore. 02 is still that's the summer he goes into the Mr. America gimmick, right?
That was,
Or was that 03?
02 is when him and Edge do the American tag team,
Mm-hmm.
the American Canadian tag team thing or something, and then
they won it on July 4th.
Yeah, 03 I believe is where he does the Mr. America thing because it's in the build with him and
McMahon
Vince for some reason. Yeah, I don't remember exactly when it was, but it was
I've been begging for the entire episode where we just talk Uncle Terry, and one of the main reasons is to get to this run and the whole Mr. America thing because it was such a fucking weird time.
Yeah,
and he's under a mask and everybody knows it's him, and then even there's a spot where he pulls the mask up and he's like looking at the crowd and it's like, oh, come the fuck on. Like it's so fucking stupid, but it's great. It's stupid in a good way. It's stupid for wrestling.
Yeah,
which wrestling, let's face it, can be stupid. My number 7, WrestleMania 18 versus the Nature Boy. After we did this episode, this match, when we did WrestleMania 18, when we talked about WrestleMania 18, after watching this match, I didn't realize how fucking good this match was. And I've probably rewatched this match since we did that episode, I think maybe last summer or last Mania season. No, the year before. I think it was the year before. Anyways, but obviously my favorite spot in the match, Arn Anderson running in, doing the spine buster and then rolling out, which is the clip.
Wait a minute. There's Arn Anderson. Arn Anderson with a spine buster. Where the hell did he come from?
Up there.
Old Book Red.
But fucking, Flair sells his ass off. Taker's awesome. Helps Rick get his confidence back. It's one of those kind of things. Allergies. But yeah, just a fucking solid fucking match, dude. So good. On both
especially
parts.
at the age Flair was at already.
Yeah.
That one almost made my list. That's a solid match.
So we're through 7, not 1 the same.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. I don't think we'll have the same number. No. I don't think we'll have the same numbers, but we'll have some on the list.
I don't know if any of my matches that I've already said is on yours, but none of yours are on my list.
All right. Number 6 is versus. This was a hard one to pick because there's many that I like, and I kind of got mixed up whether it was Shawn Michaels or not versus him, but I just went with the obvious one is versus Mankind at King of the Ring 1998.
Okay.
And I almost did Hell in a Cell. I almost did Buried Alive. I almost did Boiler Room Brawl because I love Boiler Room Brawl. I love the Buried Alive. I love all of the old Mankind and Undertaker stuff, but I remember it just goes back to when I was a kid and I first saw this. I had it on multiple VHS. I had it on like Eva Destruction, Hardcore. I rented the VHS tape multiple times.
Sable's on the cover.
Sable's on the cover of it, yep. And Mankind and Taker at King of the Ring 98 is just a staple for I got a text message. A staple for hardcore matches now. Like it kind of paved the way for violence like that, I guess, in a way. It has its own little, I don't know, it's a staple, but I'm trying to explain this. I'm like really bad at it. It paved the way for Hell in a Cell matches. like the Bad Blood one, I guess I should say that instead of my stumbling on the hardcore thing. The Bad Blood one was amazing, but this one was like, this set the spots and like how to work around that for the future Hell in a Cell matches. And I just remember being a kid and seeing that, and I was like, that's fucking crazy. Whenever Jim Ross said he might be dead, I was like, I think he's dead. Like, I was like a little
I
5
think he is fucking dead.
I think he is fucking dead. So anyways, it's a crazy match. He loses a tooth. He gets thrown off the cell, and I like that Taker as well. I still have like the little rubber figure of that one, but yeah, that's
The worst fucking face like ever. Were those
yeah,
old
it's not
Jack's
him.
Taker.
Yeah. Anyways, that's my number 6. I went on way too long about
It's
it.
fine. I almost put this match on there. I picked a different Mankind match, but the only reason I didn't pick this one is just because it's remembered more for the spots than the match.
Yeah.
So I had to, and I kind of had a feeling you'd put it on there, and I was trying my best to be different. But I mean,
I'm generic, so
nobody will ever forget this. And it's funny because yesterday I think was the 22-year anniversary of it, and like everybody was tweeting about it. And ESPN even put the clip of him falling off, and Jim Ross is calling, and Jim Ross
just fucking
retweeted
legendary.
it. Yeah, we'll never forget it. I mean, that's gonna go down. I mean, our kids' will be talking about that years later.
Yeah, that's why I put it on my list, because it's just something nobody will. I was sitting there thinking about my list, and I was like, I have to have that on there because, like I said, I love Boiler Room Brawl. I love Buried Alive. I love all the other ones they had, even on Raw and stuff. I love the Undertaker and Mankind feud, but a couple years later at Hell in a Cell.
And we did a whole episode on Undertaker and Mankind feud. That was the one episode of feuds we did was Taker and Mankind, because it lasted for years, dude.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, at some point we'll probably get back to doing all those old, like we did the year in review or whatever. It was like 98, I think we did, which was great.
Yeah.
Those episodes did really good for us too. I don't know why we didn't capitalize on them.
We should do some more years in review.
Yeah, we dropped the ball because those two, the feuds and the year, both are in our top 15 episodes.
No. All right.
So we probably I probably should have told you that earlier.
Yeah, that would have been a good idea.
Also, our spotlight episodes, the single wrestler spotlights, are really high up too.
Okay.
So my number 6 from Survivor Series 1991 for the WWF title, Taker's first WWF title win versus Uncle Terry, with help from Ric Flair. I was
just wondering where it was going to be on your list. I knew it would be there.
This is why I didn't pick the Judgment Day 02, because I had to put this one on there. It's Taker's first WWF title win. Obviously, that's one reason why it's memorable. It's also memorable because he only held the belt for like 5 days. He defended it twice at house shows versus British Bulldog, and they ended up doing this Tuesday in Texas. I think this was still when Survivor Series was Thanksgiving Eve, so it was on a Wednesday. And then the following Tuesday, they did a special pay-per-view for like 20 or
just
like
for that,
bucks.
right?
Just for that, yeah. Which it ends up TV president Jack Tunney strips Hogan of the belt because of all the fuckery from Ric Flair. Going into the Royal Rumble, Flair ends up winning the title at the Royal Rumble, which is by far probably everybody's favorite Royal Rumble, is 92. It's always talked about. Every podcast has done that, and we haven't done it yet, which is weird, but one of these days we'll get to it. But dude, I remember I was 4, almost 5 when this match happened, but I remember it. This was when I was first getting into wrestling, like religiously. Like I had the Hasbros and all that stuff. I remember being so fucking upset that Hulk Hogan lost the belt, but not only that, he lost it to fucking Undertaker. So this kind of started my love-hate relationship with Undertaker. I asked Amanda
because of that,
her favorite wrestlers would be, and it was like, who's your favorite Japanese wrestler? Who's your favorite Canadian wrestler? Because that was a Twitter thing yesterday. So I thought I'd ask her. She had really good answers. But she said, because she picked Jericho as her favorite Canadian wrestler. I said, who's your favorite non-Canadian? And she said, Undertaker. And she was surprised that I was like, well, but that's the thing, is he was always that he was always against my favorites. So whether it was Hogan or Austin or Shawn or whoever, and it's always like, how can I fucking root for The Undertaker when I like this guy better? The only time I really remember rooting for Undertaker to win a match was SummerSlam 97 because I hated Bret Hart. Because that was
he was that good of a heel that year.
It was that Canadian time where he was a dick.
Yeah. But he was, but that's because he was that good of a heel, though. That's why you felt that way.
I'm not saying I hate Bret Hart. I could never hate Bret Hart. He's awesome.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean. As a kid, you're like, fuck him. Canada sucks.
Exactly.
USA, motherfucker.
Exactly.
These colors don't run. I'm a real American, brother.
Yeah, kind of.
SummerSlam or Survivor Series 91.
I would live in Canada, definitely.
I would too. Fuck it, man.
Because I love it up. And I just love it up there. It's just like I'd live in Toronto for sure.
Oh, dude, Toronto.
And in the sticks.
And I love how everybody always talks about how nice people are in fucking Canada.
I like that it snows. So
I like snow too. But it'd be nice to live in a city like Toronto and like people not be dickheads.
Yeah, that'd be cool. All right, my number 5 is versus Brock Lesnar. It's going to come as a surprise to you at WrestleMania 30. No, I'm just kidding. Versus Brock Lesnar.
Say, motherfucker, if you put that on here, I'm going to punch you through the screen.
Versus Brock Lesnar at No Mercy 2002 in the Hell in a Cell match. Took place in Little Rock, Arkansas. So it's a little close to home, if you will. This was, out of all the Lesnar matches, I think people that are younger might not know that there was actually a really good Taker and Lesnar feud in 02 and in 03. But this is the one I would have to pick. They also wrestled at Unforgiven, I believe, the month before. But No Mercy 2002. First of all, No Mercy 02 is a pay-per-view I like. Again, like kind of an underrated, just like it flies under the radar type show. But the Hell in a Cell match is on every compilation because it was brutal, super bloody. They just beat the fuck out of each other. And I remember being a little older at this point, but watching this Hell in a Cell, I was like, that's dope. Number 5.
That's a solid
And it was
match.
Brock Lesnar before he was, just suplexing. He did shit back then. So
yeah, he was
the next big thing.
He was a freak athlete before the UFC stuff. And before, I mean, that rookie year was just fucking awesome. It's a shame that
it was really good.
He didn't last longer, and I guess it's good for Vince that he left and him, but other than that, like for the fans, we missed out on probably a hell of a fucking career. And
man.
And now, we've talked about it. When he came back, it was like, yeah, this is awesome, and then it's like, okay, I've had enough.
Just think if Lesnar was around in 2005, Batista and Lesnar on SmackDown, that clash for the title, that would be fucking amazing. So anyways, that's my number 5.
All right, my number 5, SummerSlam 1998 versus the Texas Rattlesnake, Stone Cold Steve Austin. We've talked about this match so many fucking times. We've talked about SummerSlam 98. Dad, where's my fucking tape? You're in the garden, Earl Hebner telling Stone Cold after he's concussed, and I actually when I watched it back Saturday,
you could see it.
I could see it, and I was like, oh fuck, man, that's so. I mean, it's not cool that he got a concussion. Concussions suck, and have lifelong, issues because of it. But
you better drink your tea. It's gonna be Chili McFreeze.
Watching this back, there's spots where you could tell Austin was kind of loopy, but to fucking have that good of a fucking match, and it really is. It's a fucking Stone Cold classic.
Then just go ahead and drink your tea before it gets stone cold. That's your name, Stone Cold.
But
and the build is amazing too.
Oh, this probably could be my favorite build ever. This summer, was fucking incredible. I went to a Raw that summer in June '98, right after, or July. It was July 12th, I think, 13th. I think it was 13th. It was right after King of the Ring. Fucking, and WWF was just fucking hot here. All wrestling was hot, but man, the fucking signs, the crowd, when Austin comes, you know, and it's the Garden, so it's that short entrance, but fuck, I mean, JR was like, I can hear the building shaking. I can feel the building shaking. And it's like, holy shit, like you're watching it and you believe it because the crowd is fucking that excited. And there's a lot of Goldberg sucks signs, and this was that weird era of WWF shop where they had a Austin Rules Goldberg sucks shirt. Like, how did they get away with that?
I don't know. Well, they were stomping their fucking ass at the time, so they
Yeah.
couldn't. Well, actually, a year later, they were stomping them, but yeah.
I mean, I'll never forget this time. The fucking ice cream at this point was awesome. They had the fucking Summer Slam juice, like they look like the little hug barrel things, but they were,
Oh, I remember those.
Yeah.
I had some of those. Yeah,
dude. Fuck, they were, dude.
I
It was
definitely
everywhere.
remember those.
You could not go fucking anywhere without seeing something of wrestling, and you always had to get it. You had to have it.
I think 98 through 2000 would be the peak of mainstream popularity. Easily, it has to be. I mean, I would dare to say it was bigger than when the golden age of wrestling. I don't know. I mean, I wasn't around back then, but I think 98 was big.
When Terry, Macho, and Warrior were on top, it was close, but nothing beat that. Like I said, it was fucking everywhere. I mean, you went into a gas station, there was wrestling shit. Yeah. And like anywhere you go, even if it wasn't like legit, like even knockoffs, it was insane. Anyways, let's move on. I talked about it too long.
All right, my number 4 is Undertaker versus Edge, and my God, there's so many to choose from. Pretty much just 2008 in general, but I went with the WrestleMania 24 match because this was just their wins. They go on to have a great feud all the way through SummerSlam. And I almost did the SummerSlam match, but because it was Hell in a Cell, I was like, I don't need to have 3 Hell in a Cell matches.
Right.
I don't want Taker to be just a Hell in a Cell guy. But him versus Edge at WrestleMania 24, I rewatched this one recently, and just a solid fucking wrestling match. And I remember at this time, maybe it was 07 or 08, but I was a little older at this point and not really playing with wrestlers anymore. I guess I would have been 15. No, I wasn't 15. Something like that. I don't know. 15 maybe, yeah. But I remember I did get the Undertaker figure like this with that onesie suit and the demons on the side of his pant legs. I just love that. I still have it, actually. It was the Deluxe Aggression figures.
I remember that one.
Yeah, but him versus Edge at WrestleMania 24, as far as wrestling matches go, it's a solid one. But they wrestle at One Night Stand. They wrestle at Judgment Day, or I think at Judgment Day, SummerSlam. It's just all through the summer, man. They're feuding, but it's really good. So definitely watch the WrestleMania 24 one.
And you also get a run-in from Ryder and Hawkins in this match.
You get that too, so got to throw that out there.
Yeah. Shout out to the Major Wrestling Figures podcast. Where are we at? 4?
Number 4.
My number 4 from SummerSlam 1996, the Boiler Room Brawl versus Mankind. You talked about it. I put it on my, like I said, I wanted to put the Hell in a Cell match on there, but I always try to do the one match with each guy that only comes into play once, where I double up on, and I do double up on this list once, and they're both coming up shortly. But this match, this was a great build. This is where Paul Bearer turns on Taker and hits him with the urn at the end of the match. This was a weird one because I think didn't we cover SummerSlam 96?
I think so, because I want to
say we did.
Shawn and Vader. Yeah.
And I remember bringing this up, but the weird, because they were in the boiler room and all that, and they had the TV in front of the ring, like the little like cart like you would have when it was video day in school.
Yeah.
So shout out to anytime you watched a movie in class, not to be confused with we watched a movie. Check them out, by the way. But dude, I mean, it was a cool match, and the clip that I picked for this one, you guys will see it. It's fucking. I can't even talk about it because it's such a great fucking time, and like we talked about, Mankind. I mean, that feud went on for fucking ever. So that's it.
Yeah, 96 is an underrated year in WWE because WCW was so hot. All right, my number 3 is from SummerSlam 1997 versus Bret Hart with Shawn as the special guest referee. This is one I went back and rewatched. Another one recently I rewatched because for some reason I was at work and I was just thinking about this match and I was like, man, that's a good fucking match. And it has the build to Survivor Series 97 and all that, but just Taker versus Bret, man, you can't go wrong with it. Yours, the Royal Rumble 96 one, that was great. I'm going to actually rewatch that one. But this one, don't really need to speak on it too much because it was just a solid match. And SummerSlam 97 that's up there with my SummerSlams for sure. I love that SummerSlam. Just the
what
whole
I was
like
thinking
heart versus
watching all this
heart and
though
soul. What's that?
is I don't remember Bret ever putting Taker over. Because
don't think that happened, yeah.
96, the Royal Rumble, there was a fuckery finish with Diesel. And then 97, obviously the fuckery with Shawn as the ref, and he hits Taker with the chair. That sets them up for Bad Blood. But SummerSlam 97, we talked about it 2 years ago. And, I mean, that's one of my favorite pay-per-views ever. Just the card in general was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But, you can't go wrong with that match.
Mm-mm. You're up.
My number 3, speak of the devil, from Bad Blood 1997, Hell in a Cell, the first Hell in a Cell versus Shawn. This match, I could watch it fucking 1,000 times, over and over. I mean, I've seen it so many times, I know it. I could probably recreate this fucking match if I had a cell with Levi. And
we should do that.
Dude, it was like you didn't know what to expect. So that's why I had to put this Hell in a Cell on there. And I mean, obviously Shawn with his shit going on and whatever, but this showed you how good he really was.
It's gonna be Kane! My God, he just ripped the door off its hinges! Is this human being? Or is that a human being? Gonna be Kane, the Undertaker, looking at him, he's huge, whoever he is! Oh my! Set up for the tombstone!
And he was a dick. The camera guy gets in his way, and he's like, get out of my goddamn way, and all that shit. Obviously, the debut of fucking Kane. That's gotta be Kane.
That's gotta be Kane. It's such a good match, man. I could easily have put that in place of the Mankind. I could have put a different Mankind match and put that in place of something on my list. It's definitely like honorable mention for my list. It's such a good one.
All right, number 2.
Number 2 is one probably everybody thought would be number 1, but it's not my number 1. Versus HBK, Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 26. Of course, we got to have that on the list because it's such a good match. Such a good match. It's HBK's last, in our opinion, it's his last match.
It's the last fucking match.
And yeah, it's his last match, and they just tore the house down. 25 is great. You know, we talked about it a million times on here, but 26 had meaning. And the build to it was great. The whole Elimination Chamber, which you were at.
I was, indeed.
And I'm sure we're going to talk about this match very soon, too. So I'll go ahead and you can move on to your number.
My number 2, actually, this is being led into by number 3, WrestleMania 14 versus Kane. This actually, I guess I have to say, would be my favorite build in an Undertaker feud because obviously if
it was a few months.
I mean, that 98 summer was great, but if I thought that was actually better, I would have put that at number 2. So I'm going to say Kane versus Undertaker was the best build ever in wrestling. You had the element of surprise. You didn't know who Kane was at the time, especially. We didn't know that it was fucking Isaac Yakum, DDS, or
Mayor
fake
Glenn
Diesel.
Jacobs.
Yeah. But,
Yeah, fake Diesel.
Paul Bearer saying, your brother's alive, your brother's alive. I'll never forget that. And, like, what is he going to look like? Are they twins? You know, because you really thought they could have been legit brothers.
Is it 94 Undertaker?
Yeah.
Undertaker versus Undertaker? Yeah.
You didn't know. And so just the whole build from Bad Blood 97 on, and before that when you don't see him, but mainly that it picks up at Bad Blood when he debuts. But then you get the... Go ahead.
I faintly remember this build. I was like little because I was born in 93, but I definitely faintly remember this entire build. And I might just be remembering more of the 98 feud with them. Yeah. I think that's what I'm remembering more.
That's where this is 98, but it's late 97 into 98. But Royal Rumble 98 when Shawn beats Taker in the casket match when Shawn fucks his back up. And then Undertaker sets the casket on fire. And then, you know, he has little matches, but there, you know, he fights Kane, he fights Mankind. You're like, okay, let's just see Taker. You finally get at WrestleMania. And I remember, like, we were all excited for Austin and Shawn, but Undertaker and Kane, holy shit. And we were just, everybody was blown away. And I remember thinking at that time, there's no way that Kane is going to come out and lose to Taker at WrestleMania. And Taker wins. But I think it was 3 tombstones to put Kane away.
Who can believe it? It's finally prevailing. Maybe Kane and Paul Bearer. Kane and Paul Bearer have been right for these 28 years. But look at Kane set with Taker. He's in shock. No, this is and will this be enough? My God, what will it take?
They definitely put him over, and that is a good match, and that was a lot of times that was on the that's on most of the best Taker matches of all time lists.
And I mean, 20 was good, but Kane didn't have the mask. It didn't have the
it's
same
not the
build.
Same.
The build obviously goes into a lot of my thinking of putting a list like this together. So number 2.
And I think that match ran like 13, 14 minutes or something.
Yeah, it was about 13, 14, 15 somewhere. It had a good time. And I mean, they did so much in that time that it seemed like it was longer, but you're never bored. You can go back and watch it now and you will watch it.
That was a good match. All right, my number 1. Drum roll, please. Versus Stone Cold Steve Austin at SummerSlam 1998.
Hey, it was
on your list. Yep. That is. When you were explaining it earlier, I was like, okay, dude, can you shut the fuck up so I can talk about it later? But no, I mean, everything you said, obviously, on yours. What number was it on yours?
5, I think. 5, yeah.
Everything you said, if you're listening now, just listen to what he said. And this was my first ever pay-per-view I saw. This was taped. My mom bought it. I remember going to bed because I had to go to bed like 8. You know, it was like I had bedtime shit. I was like 5. But man, I just remember being so stoked for this match, and the build was so awesome. They did the King of the Ring thing, and then the Fully Loaded thing where they're tag champions, and then it goes into this. And just the whole Highway to Hell build, and something about when the show opens and Jim Ross says, "It's a hot summer night in New York City." That just fucking, I don't know. I get so pumped when I hear that because I love SummerSlam 98. The card's not that amazing. Like SummerSlam 97 is probably better, but this match and it's not the best Taker match by any means because of, there's shit happens in it, but the entrance and the ring, they're in Madison Square Garden, man. And it's that 98 Taker. It's kind of, I don't have any 99 Taker on here, but I liked that outfit and that Taker a lot, but that wasn't really a great year as far as matches go. But SummerSlam 1998 is by far my favorite Undertaker match. And I don't think that one will really ever move. That'll always be my favorite, just like, because that is that's like my heart's favorite because that's the beginning of my wrestling watching. This is just when it all started. Like the start of 98 I started watching, or late 97. But this was, I remember this being the first thing I was genuinely excited for at 5 years old of wrestling. This
is
was
where
it.
the love affair began.
Yes, this is
thing we call wrestling. This thing we talk about every week.
Stone Cold was so fucking hot, and Undertaker was really hot too because this was just, I don't know, man. The build to it was great, and then when the show opened and it was the Highway to Hell and all that, and the ring, the red ropes and the red apron, and you're in the garden, son. You know, it's just such a good one, man. I love it. I love it.
One thing
my
I
favorite Taker match.
Forgot to mention on this match was the almost interference from Kane when he comes out through the gates
too.
And he's standing there and Taker's like, go back to the back.
Tells him to go.
Like, and Jim Ross is like, he told him he wanted a one-on-one with Austin for the title.
Yeah.
And like watching Kane go back and he opens the gate and I don't know why that was so funny when I watched it, but I popped for it because I just thought it was weird. Like, shouldn't they have like had like an automatic door open? But also from this match, the entrance of Austin with the cool fucking skeleton with the shirt and the jeans on and the glass breaks. I told
you have to mention that.
Me and Tommy were watching it and I was like, dude, watch this. This is fucking cool. And he goes, oh, it's like the glass breaking. I said, yes, that's why it's fucking cool. And they timed it perfect. Yeah, dude, that match is so fucking good. And I kind of wish now I would have put it like number 2, but
it's up there, man. It's my favorite for sure. Favorite Taker and maybe favorite Austin.
Yeah, I would
definitely favorite Taker.
Yeah, I would say that's probably my favorite Austin match.
Favorite, and I gotta say favorite Taker match, but not favorite Taker outfit or favorite Undertaker, I guess. But it is definitely right. It just, he kind of has to be, this era of Undertaker has to be up there with my favorite because this is my beginnings in wrestling.
Right,
so,
but you also are known for liking the American Badass Big Evil era of Taker.
And I don't know. And once again, I don't even know if that's my favorite. I like the classic Undertaker. I don't know what's my favorite anymore.
There
it is.
It's time. This was a great episode. I just want to say that. I really loved this one. It was a good time to do it because with Undertaker saying this is it. What?
It's like turn the shower on. Like stop letting the water run.
You're seeing like the meter going in your mind. You're like, you're running up my fucking water bill. Anyways, so we'll get to the obvious. My favorite match of all time. I don't care what anybody says. I'll fight to the death that this was better than 25. WrestleMania 26 versus the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. Like you said, man, this one just had meaning. It was the streak versus Shawn's career. I remember going into this one going, I knew I was reading the dirt sheets already. I knew Shawn was going away. But for some reason, I wanted to believe if there's going to be a time the streak is going to end, it's going to be right now. And if it doesn't end here, it's never going to end. Well, that didn't happen. But this match was just so fucking good. It's perfect. And 25 is great too. I mean, you could throw that on there anyways just because. But I just feel like 25, it was cool, but this one just meant more. It meant more. People were invested in the build. And like you said, I was at the Elimination Chamber the month before, or I guess 2 months before, because they started doing WrestleMania in April. But I remember sitting there and the kid in front of me going, oh, I wonder what's going to happen. I was like, well, Shawn Michaels is going to pop up through the ring and cost Taker the belt and Jericho's going to win. And when it happened, the kid turns around and goes, how did you know that? I'm like, because I'm not an idiot.
Yeah.
Like you could just feel it in the building. Something big was going to happen, and I knew it was going to happen. That's also the same night that Undertaker got the burns from the pyro.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And he throws his jacket off, and he's sitting there dousing himself with the water. They talk about it on the last ride. And I was like, I was at that show. So that was pretty cool. But, yeah, I fucking love this match. And I would Dominion, Omega versus Okada right up there. But, fuck, man, this match was so good.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Anywho, all right, well, that's our list. What was that? That was my number
3?
Oh, my number 2. My number
Was
2.
it 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we were close. But we only had 2 matches that were the same.
That's surprising, but at the same time not, because you have you were around a little before me, so you got to see some stuff. Some things probably mean a little more to you than the older stuff, but I'm a little disappointed that I didn't have any Phantom or Black and Purple Taker on there, but I do love that stuff. It's just more like top 20.
Yeah. We'll eventually get to just a fucking full Taker, like
spotlight
episode, which this kind of turned into one, but I talking about it kind of makes me sad that he's going away.
But
okay
it's time. With it. It's time to stop. Yeah, it's time to stop doing the.
What the fuck?
What was that?
I just knocked my fucking elbow on something.
That's funny. That's a funny bone. All right, well, let's take her home. Oh yeah.
Levi's got to go look at a house.
Yeah, I got to go look at a house that I can't afford. So,
hey, shout out to my Wi-Fi for not fucking up this week. That's awesome.
Hey, it was solid. Shout out to my data for not fucking up this week.
Verizon, if you want to sponsor the show.
You know where to follow us. That's at Heels and Quads on Twitter, Heels and Quads Wrestling Podcast on Instagram. Our tags, our handles, all that stuff. Go to Patreon if you like what we're doing here. We get more Patreon people. We do more. Go to ProWrestlingTees.com/Heels and Quads. ManCanWine.com. Use coupon code Heels and Quads in all caps at checkout. Go to CollaranElbowBrand.com and use coupon code Heels and Quads in all caps at checkout. Go to ZydaxComputers.com. Use coupon code Heels and Quads at checkout. Yeah, anyways, that's the whole situation. But yeah, that's our Taker episode. That's it.
That was fun. And
it was a good one.
Follow the show at Heels and Quads on Twitter, Heels and Quads Wrestling Podcast on Instagram, ProWrestlingTees.com/Heels and Quads. Patreon. We have got to get you guys on Patreon. It helps us out, helps the show out, maybe get us some better fucking internet, some better equipment.
More incentive to do things.
It'll make the show quality better, which is always nice. Twitter, fucking come on, like engage. I know you guys are listening, so I want more. I want more Twitter engagement. I'm more likely to get on it and stay on it if I'm chatting with people. So, and Levi maybe even might join in if people start fucking interacting more.
Yeah, I'll probably. I'm not good at social media, but yeah, if people are chatting,
obviously I'm not fucking good at it either. We should have like fucking at least 10,000 followers by now.
Yeah, not a million. I don't know what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, I'll take a million. All right.
We could have that. That'd be cool. Yeah. Let's get rolling. Tell your friends.
Tell your enemies.
And we'll talk to you guys next week sometime.
Sometime,
we gotta figure that out. Yeah. With some sort of new episode. Probably talking about Fyter Fest. We'll see.
Probably. All right. We'll talk to you next week at some point. Bye.
Bye.